or TV show or movie is mentioned. Please listen at your own discretion. Welcome to Viewers Anonymous.
Yo, what's going on? I am Scoots Bronson.
And I am S. Foster.
That's right. You tuned in to the Viewers Anonymous podcast where we give our takes and reviews of movies and television straight out of Hollywood. What's going on with you, my guy?
Slow motion, my guy.
That's what's up.
Yeah. Slow motion, slow motion. But back on the pies, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I was thinking, it was brought to my attention the other day. I was talking to the boy Casey, and he asked me, he was like, yo, he's like, so you did episode 99 for the 28. I was like, yeah. He's like, you got anything special for 100? And I was like, I don't know, man. I was like, I might just do a regular episode. Like, I don't know, if I'm really gonna celebrate it yet. And he was like, man, that's crazy. I know, right? I was like, I did 214 on the stolen time. I was like, man, me and Scoot just did like 202. And I was like, now I'm coming up on 100. He was like, yeah, but you said you done over about 500 pies. I was like, man, that's crazy.
For real.
I was like, that's crazy. But man, it was just crazy to hear it that way. So that was wild. But man, how you doing, man? How you feeling?
Man, I'm feeling good, feeling great, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm a little salty because I've been getting whooped on in fantasy football. I needed Russell Wilson to come through last night, and he did not. So I lost in both. Actually, I lost in all three fantasy football leagues that I'm in. So yeah, it's been a rough weekend, but you know what I'm saying. My Browns and Buckeyes pulled through for me, so I'm I'm kind of 50-50. But outside of that, man, everything good.
Man, I went 50-50, man. I won in one league. Well, I guess you
beat me up.
and I lost in the FanDuel joint. But man, you know what I'm saying? But I went 1-1, man. I told y'all on the 4-3, I was like, yo, Florida State getting the win because we got to buy. So, you know what I'm saying? I took that W right there, and then my boys just completely laid the egg, man. I mean, just went out there and laid the egg. I get the element shit, but we ain't gonna get into all that. But we'll get into that on 4-3. But
for sure.
But yeah, man, I was I was salty though. I was salty Sunday. I was salty. I wasn't a pleasure to be around, man. I wasn't happy.
Man, I know the feeling, man. I was almost that same way until K York popped up, man. He sheesh. That boy, he off to a great start already. You know what I'm saying? Big kick, first game in the NFL. He did his thing, man. So yeah, I was excited about that. Oh, I was also happy because the Steelers beat the Bengals, and I was there to witness it. In 4K. That was amazing. I was at a Bengals fan household. I was at my uncle's house, and man, it was lovely. It was lovely.
That's funny.
Them niggas at the bottom of the division. I'm happy.
Damn. Well, shit, man. I'm at the damn bottom of the division, so I can't even laugh.
But let me tell you the beauty of it, though. The beauty of it is everybody in the house likes an AFC North team. So I like the Browns. My uncle and his oldest son like the Bengals, and then his youngest son like the Ravens. So that's a whole AFC North household at the time. So like ain't nobody in there liking any other team. So yeah, we had to go through that. So yeah, everybody in the AFC North won except them. Great day.
That's hilarious. Ain't nothing more hilarious though than the AFC South went all like nobody won a game and two teams played against each other.
Yeah,
because they tied. And it's like, man, that's crazy. I was like, yo, the AFC.
Look, if you would have made a bet with me that Indianapolis was going to tie Houston, I'd have lost that bet 1,000 times over. I never would have took Houston in that.
Yeah.
So the fact that they tied them, I was like, my dude was like, I mean, it's a tie. I said, no, that's a loss for y'all. I'm like, I don't care what you say. That's an L, bro.
At the end of the day, that is an L.
For sure, man. So, listen, man, you know what I'm saying? We've been trying to get this movie done for the longest. We've had it on the list multiple times. We've taken it off the list multiple times, but this time, you know what I'm saying, it's here and it's time to go, man. You know what I'm saying? This is a 2012 movie starring Denzel Washington and my man Ryan Reynolds. God damn, I couldn't think of his name. Ryan Reynolds. And this movie is about espionage. This movie is about trust. This movie is about the dirty government. This movie is Safe House, man. This movie basically is about a young agent in the government who is basically on, I guess you would say, babysitting patrol, and he's just going from safe house to safe house, making sure that the people that are, I guess they're like high value targets or people that would be on like alert or red tape guys, you know what I'm saying? They basically go to the safe house. He watches them until they can get the other transport to come through, take them to where they got to go. But this time he gets probably one of the most wanted men in the world, Tobin Frost, and then he gets him, and then Tobin Frost takes him on a whirlwind. But he also finds out that the people that he's trusted through his whole career, he cannot trust. And he actually finds out that Tobin Frost is not that bad of a guy. So, you know what I'm saying? How did you feel rewatching this joint, man?
Anytime you can watch a movie with Denzel Washington and really Ryan Reynolds too. I mean, if you really think about it and you look at Ryan Reynolds' resume, especially for like the last like 5 years, I don't think he missed
at all.
Like, I don't think he missed. And with saying that, Denzel Washington missed on that All Little Things.
Well, he also missed on that J Esquire movie, whatever that shit. Israel Esquire, or whatever the name.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know if that was the last 5 years though. That might be out of the 5 year threshold.
I don't know. Let me look. But go ahead.
Check that out.
Okay.
But he hasn't missed, man. So when you can get both of those two guys together, and the type of scenario that they are put in this movie, it was great going back and watching it, man. It still holds up. It still holds my attention. And it's something very great about Denzel being like the quote unquote what he was painted to be bad guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like he has this aura about himself that just pops off the screen when he plays these parts. And then he just does these little things of like, okay, look, this has to be said, like right here, right now. Denzel Washington is the GOAT. I don't give a fuck what none of y'all say. Like this dude, like, is just, he's literally the best.
For sure.
And it be like just little shit that he does, like when they had him, when they was about to do the waterboarding joint, and like when he was in the chair, and like he kept looking up, like at the mirror, like you see what they about to do, right? Like he didn't say it, but he's looking like you see this, right? And it's like the way he just was leaning over and looking, and it's just, man, I don't know, man. Like I can't think of the word other than just greatness. Like it's just like, man, this dude is just so good. But it was great going back and watching this movie. This is one of those ones that I feel that is like super, super underrated when it comes to Denzel Washington. And it was just great, man. I'm glad we're doing this pod today, man. But for you going back and watching it, man, how did you feel?
Okay, so before that, actually, it was exactly 5 years ago. 2017 is when that movie came out. So yeah, I mean, I watched a little bit of it, but I could not get into it. Maybe now I could probably focus a little bit more. Seeing how now I can watch movies that I don't usually watch now, thanks to the pod. But I'm gonna have to go check that out again though. But to me, that was I didn't hear too many good reviews about that one. But going back and watching this, man, it was like the first time. The first time I was excited to see it. First and foremost, because of Ryan Reynolds. I've been a huge fan of Ryan Reynolds for a long time, even back to when he was doing like the comedy or the rom-com movies. So like even then, I used to like Ryan Reynolds. And then when he got into Blade Trinity, that's when he got me. Him playing that role right there, I was like, yeah, this is it. This is definitely it. Like this dude has it. Whatever the it factor is, he definitely has it. So that's when that's when I really became a fan of Ryan Reynolds was Blade Trinity. And then with Denzel, like there's really nothing you can really say bad about Denzel at all. Outside of the fact that maybe in the 90s he probably took your girl or your girl talked about him a lot, so you probably hate him because of that. But outside of that, like there's nothing bad you can say about Denzel, man. This dude has done it all. He's been acting for 30 years now, probably more than that. This dude really has everything you look at. Like to me, it's like James Earl Jones, Denzel Washington. Like
Okay.
or you can switch them. They 1A and 1B for me. But to me, well, you can add Morgan Freeman in there too. But those guys are like it's a certain tier. It's a certain tier, especially in Black Hollywood for me. Like any movie that they're in, I'm going to watch. I have to watch it just to see, you know what I'm saying, the show that they put on. But just in Hollywood in general, for me, like he's definitely up there amongst the GOATs. I don't really see anybody else that would be able to knock him off of that pedestal. But this was dope because it's action packed, but also it gives you that like that mystery. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things where it's an action movie, but you also have to like, you know what I'm saying, pay attention. And I know it's another word I could probably use for it, but I always say pay attention because like if you don't pay attention to this movie, you may end up losing what's going on. And you know what I'm saying, you will be confused because there's so much happening. Like you said, all the little nuances that he does and the little things that Denzel does throughout the movie that actually some of those actually give you a hint of what's going to happen next without, you know what I'm saying, without him even having to say something. Or 9 times out of 10, his facial features usually kind of give that off. But the way that they did this was great. And I always have said that the Denzel in Safe House, that Tobin Frost character eventually became the dude in Equalizer. So I don't know, you know what I'm saying, if that's what he took to use for Equalizer. But to me, those two are the same guys. Tobin Frost is just a younger version of whoever the dude in the Equalizer was.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that. I hate because he died in it though, because like this would have been like, for me, this would have been a better movie because The Equalizer was the first movie that he kind of like did like a series. Like he never played the same character twice.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's going on the third one when it comes to this. Well, The Equalizer. And it's like, this could have been that movie that could have been that, but he ended up dying at the end. But like, what I mean is like, watching that scene at the end when he got shot, like before he died in that last house that they was in, just like he was just making these faces. And he was like, oh, like he was just, you know what I mean? And it was just, dude, like he really convinced you, because it's like when you watch like people get shot or people get punched or whatever the case may be, you can be like, okay, yeah, they acted.
Mm-hmm.
Like it seriously felt like he got shot. Like, like I would just, and I forgot how good that one interaction was between him and Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
Like even like throughout this movie, like they chemistry is like unmatched. Like it was better than the chemistry that him and Ethan Hawke had in Training Day. Like it was better. Like I'm sitting here trying to think. Like I mean, it was way better than him and Mark Wahlberg and Two Guns. Like
Oh yeah, for
Two
sure.
Guns, cool. That was, you know,
For sure.
But I'm just sitting here thinking like people that he had, you know, worked alongside with, like these are the two main people. It was like their chemistry was it was so good and it was so unmatched, to where it's like, I mean, I remember seeing like the trailers from this movie, And I'm like, yo, like I was generally excited to see this shit. And then they used the No Church in a While during the trailer. I was like, what? I was like, man, you hear that Frank Ocean come in? It was like, oh yeah, I gotta see that. But yo, Frank Ocean, if he wanted to, he could have been like the hook king.
He could have been the soundtrack king.
Man, it just
him and Kanye.
Yeah, it's something about that dude. Even Jay because Jay used him again on that was it Oceans?
Yep.
No, Oceans. Yeah. He used them again on that Oceans, and it's like, yeah, like he knows. But anyway, yeah, we're getting off track. But no, like, and then the whole plot of this movie is like Tobin Frost is portrayed of being like this bad guy that's selling information to basically anyone.
Right.
And then it comes to turn out that even though we all know, if you got a brain, like you know that the government always got some shady shit going on.
Oh,
but come to find out, like David was really like the guy that was really like the person that when they created the plot twist, you go back and you look and be like, you know what, with Tobin Frost, is it that bad? Like, yeah, he's selling out the U.S. government, but he's selling out the U.S. government for good reason.
Yeah.
But then also because they fucked him over too. And he was trying to tell Matthew the same thing, like, yo, like they're gonna tell you we'll take it from here. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like they give you like you said, like they give you like these little nuggets. Like that's a great word that you had used earlier, because one of the nuggets was the way he found him when he got away from him, when he was just driving, he like, it'd be better if you tell me where to go. And he was like, just drive. And he was about to turn and he looked at the sign. He was like, man, no, just stay in the middle lane. And then he remembered, oh shit, he was trying to go to this one place earlier. And it's like, that's what you were saying about nuggets that you could have missed if you weren't paying attention. And with Tobin Frost giving him like these little nuggets like throughout the film, and then he started to realize like, yo, everything that he's saying to me is true, and it's starting to happen to me too. Like, did you get that sense of like what? Yeah, like Tobin wanted him to let him go so he could continue doing what he's doing, but at the same time, like it was like, do you feel that he was trying to give him a warning, like, yo, they fucked me over, they're gonna fuck you over too?
For sure.
Like, did you get that?
For sure, because I think that basically where it kind of transitioned is once they, you know what I'm saying, like once he was going back to go get him, he was, you know what I'm saying, like he was so trusting in what they were giving, the orders they were giving him and the information that they was giving him. And of course, you know what I'm saying, when you do that job, you probably always hear about the dude, he talking, or anytime you do maybe like a job as a CEO, everybody innocent. You know what I'm saying? Everybody didn't do it, or I got set up. So you probably hearing that all the time, especially being in the safe house. And then you got to remember as well, like this is the first safe house where they actually were bringing somebody to him. Remember, like in the beginning, he was just throwing the ball up against the wall. He like, well, shit, I can't wait to get out of here. So finally, he getting some action, and he has to set the safe house up, get the safe house ready for them to come in and do whatever they got to do. And then, you know, you hearing this dude, you seeing all this. Then next thing you know, some mercs come through, take everybody out. Now it's like it may be some doubt in there that can be created. So now that he's listening to them, and then Tobin telling them like, yo, they're going to tell you this. This is how it's going to go down. This is how they're going to break it down. Now it's like that doubt is starting to raise up a little bit. So him being as green as he was in that field and having to deal with discerning whether or not, you know what I'm saying, of who was telling them the truth and what was a lie, what wasn't a lie, and all this other stuff, you could start to see how this even like all the stuff that Tobin was doing that was like that you could probably consider, you know what I'm saying, him trying to get away from Weston. Even then, like when he shot the gun by his head. Well, I mean, that lets you know right there, like he didn't shoot you. He just did that to distract you so he can get away. So it was like, okay, something, you know what I'm saying? Like at this point, now I really got to find out what's going on because something ain't right here. And then every time this dude is, you know what I'm saying, is in some shit, it's like they trying to kill him. They're not trying to take him to jail. They're not trying to bring him in. They're trying to kill this dude. It's a reason that they're trying to kill him. And it's not just over no information. It's something deeper than this. And you could see as the movie went on, like he started to realize that the more and more things start happening. And then, you know what I'm saying, the ending of it all, you know what I'm saying, it just kind of lets you know, like, man, I'm sure, like, he was looking at that shit like, yeah, I got to find a new occupation because this ain't it. Like, bro, if I gotta go through shit like this, and I'm supposed to be in a safe house. If I ain't safe in the safe house, I ain't safe nowhere. So like, you could tell like his character, especially, you could tell the Western character was definitely just looking at all of this shit like, man, I've got put into something I should have never got put in. It's this guy that they trying to kill that technically he really is innocent in a weird way. You know what I'm saying? Of course he was involved or whatever, but he was definitely innocent. He was used just like they using me right now. Yeah, I'm not feeling that.
Yeah, I think the first time that he realized it when they was in the car and he said that, yo, this is a secure, like, location. Like, nobody knows about this.
Right.
Except the person that told you that the T-1000 was showing up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So if y'all don't get that reference, Robert Patrick plays the one CIA agent
who also plays T-1000 in Terminator.
Yeah. So like when he showed up, and like even and I brought that scene up a little bit, but you know, they was trying to get it wasn't a chip. What the hell they call it?
It was a memory card, wasn't it? Or
I think it was kind of like a memory card.
Like a little USB stick or whatever.
Yeah. That he had put into himself.
Mm-hmm.
And so they went to waterboarding him, but even before they started waterboarding, he was like, yo, you're gonna need 60 or something like that. And like, so when you're dealing with somebody that was as decorated as he was, because this is what people have to understand about Tobin Frost. Like, Tobin Frost was so good. Like, for number one, they recruited him in 84.
Mm-hmm.
He was already doing jobs January of 85. Like, that quick. Not only was he on, like, location that early, he also came up with a whole new tactic to fucking interview people to where they changed their protocols because of him.
Yep.
So when you're dealing with somebody like Tobin Frost and now he's on quote unquote the opposite side, what are y'all gonna do to him that he don't already know? He the one who created what y'all doing. So he's telling them before they even waterboard him, like, yo, you're gonna need this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They do it one time, he come back. How long was that? They looking at him like, fuck.
Right.
Like, he's like, how long is that? So they dump him and do it again.
Mm-hmm.
And so when he had put him in the car, we tried to put him in the trunk first, then they go through this whole fight scene or whatever. But then when they're riding down the road, he's like, yo, Weston, I think, like you said, he was wet behind the ears.
Mm-hmm.
And like he just processing all of that at one time, no matter how smart you are, because I think they said that Weston ended up going to Yale and he graduated from Yale Law.
Mm-hmm.
So he was a smart guy, but it's just that when it was his first time firing a gun, like you just went through a whole shootout where a whole team got murdered in less than 5 minutes. Like they completely ran through those guys.
Yeah.
And so he's in the car and he's telling him like, yo, it's a secure location. Nobody knows about this. The only people that know about this is the people who set this whole thing up for us to go to the safe house.
Mm-hmm.
So that right there was a very early nugget if you really would have thought about it, because the way that this movie tried to set it up, they tried to set it up like what's her name? Like Catherine was the one.
Yeah.
Like, because when you're thinking, okay, so they send them to the safe house and they try to make, because for me this is how they did the setup. So when Weston was in the safe house and he called David, and he's like, David, I want to get out of here. You know what I'm saying? I want to be transferred, all this type of stuff. And he was like, you know what I'm saying? Listen, I got you, blah, blah, blah. So it's trying to set him up like he is the good guy. When all fails, he's the bad guy.
Yeah.
Well, one of them at least. And that one nugget, like, cause see, like when I went back and I watched it, and when you watch it for the first time, you don't get it. But obviously, you know, when you watch a movie multiple times, like, you already know the whole outcome. But it's just, you think, how can Weston not get it right there?
But I mean, see, to me, I that part I got, because that's why I say he was green. That's why, you know what I'm saying, we mentioned that he was green, and you mentioned he was wet behind the ears, because even though, you know what I'm saying, he graduated from Yale and everything like that, like you said, that was his first time firing a gun. So this is really his first time really being in the field. And that's why I went back to the beginning where he's sitting in the safe house throwing the ball up against the wall, because it's like he's not really getting the experience. Yeah, he's went through all the simulations, he's went through all the training, he's done all that. That's different from when you actually in it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Even if you could watch old war movies where they out doing PT, they training, they shooting, and going through the, you know what I'm saying, the you know what I'm saying, the processes and everything else like that. But when they actually get out there and, you know what I'm saying, you got somebody shooting back at you, that's a whole different feeling. You know what I'm saying? You can simulate, you know, you could throw a soda can on the ground, grenade, and then everybody duck, but that motherfucking soda can don't explode. You know what I'm saying? So when that happened in real life, and then you see that motherfucker and you duck, and you just thinking, oh, you know what I'm saying, this is what it is, and then that motherfucker finally explode, and you feel the impact of that explosion, even though you ducked off and you safe, you still gonna feel that rumble. You still gonna feel that, you know what I'm saying, that wave of heat. That's different. Because all through all your processes and training and all the simulations you went through, it wasn't nobody shooting back at you. It wasn't no real grenades. It wasn't none of that. You was just getting used to getting through the motions. So now that there's actual implications in there, things change a little bit. Now you actually have to think on your feet. Now you have to put all that training to use, and you're not really used to it. You're used to simulations. You're not used to the real thing. It's as close to the real thing as it probably can get, but it's not the real thing. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, for him, he's trying to figure out what he's going to do. He's also probably running through his head that he's trying to figure out who's behind this. He's trying to figure out whether he can trust Tobin or not, or whether he can trust the government or not. Like, it's probably 1,000 things going through his mind. So it's like, for him not to catch little things or pay attention to little things, like, this is the most experience he's ever had. And like, he's actually going through it. It's not something that already happened and then now, you know what I'm saying, he's in it again. No, this is like his first time going through this. So like, anything where he may have made a mistake or messed up on or said too much or didn't say enough, like, you kind of understand that, because he's basically a new booty out there.
And then to add on top of that, my man got 99 problems and a bitch is one.
Yes, it is.
Because he has a girlfriend that he met while he was, I mean, I guess you got to call it undercover, because she didn't know that he was a CIA agent. And so he's living this whole fake life. And this is something that I wanted to bring to your attention to ask you about, right? So this whole stuff that we hear about, like, people that are in the CIA, like, you can't, if you have a significant other, like, there's shit that you can't tell them. And you know what I'm saying? There's just like this code of silence that they can't know about certain classified shit. And it's like living that life where, you know, he had to end up, and this is what I meant about that chemistry that they had. So when they had got this hotel room or whatever, he went and he called his girl, because she had called him like 7 times. And so And then the wild part was just how great Tobin's ears was, or just how thin those walls were.
Right.
But he was just like, yo, he was like, you're gonna have to, she was like, you can't continue to lie to her, because the more you lie, the more those lies build up, and you're gonna, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna start believing the lies. And
or
he was like, and he was like, and even when you lie to her, she's going to believe you. So he was like, and she's not gonna break up with you, so you're gonna have to break up with her. And like Tobin is telling him, like, yo, when you get into this lifestyle, you're gonna have to accept the fact that you're gonna end up being alone, because they're like, the way your lifestyle is, you can't go on with someone that you love.
Right.
And what I was gonna ask you was just like, how difficult do you think that type of lifestyle could be? Especially being somebody like Weston's age. Because I'm thinking that his character was probably in his mid to late 20s, and it's just like you probably want a girl, or maybe possibly kids or whatever, whatnot. But just the fact that, I mean, this dude lied to her about his family. That he had a sister that had a bakery, like just little shit like that, where you have to just make up stories about family members of shit that's not even true. Like, how would you think that you would feel like living that type of lifestyle?
Honestly, I don't know if I'd be able to do that, only because that's one of those things to where, especially like with agencies like the CIA and everything, like they do extensive research and background checks on you. So even if you don't think they know you have a girlfriend, they know you have a girlfriend. Probably everything on you is bugged, like all that shit. Like you are monitored probably 24/7. Just so, you know what I'm saying, a situation like how they tried to set Tobin up doesn't exist. Like, so you don't become a rogue agent, right? So there's no telling like what info that they had on or what info they'll have on you and her, or anybody else in your family for that matter. So like, you technically have to be a hermit your whole life. And then even when you can't be a hermit, or even when you're not trying to be a hermit and you do go see your girlfriend, like, you have to constantly not only just think of a lie, but now you have to build on that lie every time. And that's a difficult thing to do. Like, building on a lie is not an easy thing to do, because you have to remember details as if they really happen. You have to create details as if they really happen. And then, Lord forbid you mess around and like get drunk one night and then just start blabbering. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, anything could really happen. So like, you really are always putting yourself at risk when you're in that situation. The closest I've ever come to that is at work. We had a project that we couldn't tell anybody that, you know what I'm saying, like, tell anybody anything about what we were doing, because it was a government job. You know what I'm saying? We could say, well, we're doing something for the government. We can't tell them what it is, though. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? I got to stay over one day, and I'm telling her, yo, I got to stay over because we got this project in and they really need us to get it done, You know what I mean? And she's like, well, what is it? I'm like, well, I can't tell you what it is. You know what I'm saying? Because it'll breach our contract. She was like, well, I mean, it really won't matter. I'm like, I don't know. I'm just telling you what they told us. We can't tell nobody what we're making, because if we do, it'll breach the contract. And it's like, damn, like, you know what I'm saying? So imagine everything you do, your job included, your whole life, basically, your career, all this stuff. And you meet this girl, you know what I'm saying? You tell her everything, you fall in love with her, and you can't even tell her who you really are. Yo, that's difficult, bro. You think you could do that?
Oh, hell no. Man, I can hardly damn lie anyway. Like, but then just to keep it going and continuously keep it going, and it's just like,
that shit's stressful.
Like, to sit here and make up fake families and stuff like that. It's like, no, I couldn't do it. But then, like, you're right. Like, they knew everything, like, about her. You know what I'm saying? Like, they knew that he had a girlfriend and everything. Then they had a squad car sitting outside her house.
Yep.
So it's just like, I wouldn't want to put that upon someone else.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, especially if I love this person, like, I don't want them to have to go through something because either I fucked up or I got myself in a situation that failed to me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the only reason they came to that safe house because it was the closest one to the American embassy that Tobin Frost turned himself into.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like all of these problems fell to Weston. Like he basically like lost his career only because Tobin Frost was the closest to him.
And
you know
then,
what I'm saying?
And then think about this though, like, what if those mercenaries found out that he was there, right? And they said, "Nah, we're not gonna go in and try to kill Tobin Frost. Instead, we'll probably try to trick Weston into bringing Tobin Frost to us or letting us get Tobin Frost, right?" So, what if they take a whole different approach? Weston find out that the shit is what it is, but they got his girl kidnapped for ransom or you know what I'm saying, holding her to get Tobin Frost as, you know what I'm saying, like leeway or something. Like you don't want to, like you said, you don't want to put somebody's life in danger like that. You know what I mean? Or if they do go in and kill Tobin Frost, now you got to be quiet and you can't say nothing about it. Or, you know what I'm saying, they're going to kill your girl. Like that's just something, that's a stress you don't want to live with.
Yeah, man, it's definitely crazy, man. Like I remember watching the Adjustment Bureau.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you ever seen that.
Yeah,
but it's just like the shit that they have to do to be CIA agents and FBI agents. It's just like I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? I'm from this country. I live in this country all my life, but it's just like I don't know if I'm willing to do the type of things that is necessary to be that high up that you need to do for this country.
Mm-hmm.
And then to know that some of the things that they were doing, because what ended up being discovered was what Tobin Frost was selling. He was selling like basically secrets that the CIA has.
Yeah.
And like they're dirty people like up at the top of the food chain. And that's why David had hired, that dude that he hired, that dude, man, he was on his job. You hear me?
For sure.
And like he was good at what he do, even though Tobin Frost whooped his ass twice. But that ain't the point. But like he was pretty good. And then like he, and I think that when Weston saw him at the end, after he got stabbed, it was just like he looked at David like, this is some bullshit. And then, but then like, but I will tell you this though, I get David a little bit, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because he said there's gonna become a part in your career or in your life where you make a mistake and you're gonna have to do whatever you can to cover up that mistake. You know what I'm saying? Like he was like, something's gonna happen to you where you're gonna have to basically hide something.
Yep.
And it's just like, I get it. Because the government do so much shady shit that they don't want any of that shit to get out. And what they didn't like about Tobin was like, basically, because y'all fucked me over, all of y'all secrets that y'all have, I'm going to sell those secrets and I'm going to profit from it. You know what I'm saying? Because of what y'all did to me, and y'all got me living on a run. Well, I'm not going to say they got him living on the run because I think he kind of chose that life because they fucked him over. So he's like, all right, well, I'm going to spend my life's work of fucking y'all over too. So I think he just really got to that point. So he really kind of chose that life. But then at the same time, it's like, I get what he's saying, especially when you are as high ranking of a person as him and what his boss was. Like, I'm pretty sure they done some missions where some things went sideways and they was like, all right, well, we're going to have to cover this up because we don't want.
Or you just did something that you knew was like completely against the grain. Like, if you do this and get caught, like everything is going down for sure. 100%. I mean, but that's what they're trained to do. Like, that's their job. So like for them to, you know what I'm saying? For them to accept that and then go out and do those missions or go out and do, you know what I'm saying, the dirty work, like you kind of gotta, you know what I'm saying? You really just kind of have to accept the fact that one day all of this might flip on you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really the only way to look at it. Like, one day you may be doing something and you could possibly be framed and, you know what I'm saying, put on the pedestal as public enemy number one.
I mean, this is true. Being in the field that they're in and doing the things that they do, it's almost inevitable. Like it's gonna happen at some point.
Yeah.
And like one of my favorite parts, like I mentioned it earlier, like after Tobin got shot in that last safe house, and he gave him like the chip or the file or whatever, let's call it the file. Like he gave him the file. He was like you a good guy. He was like, you are good. Like, don't do like what I do.
Yeah.
But do the right thing, basically. Like he was telling him, don't live the life that I was living, but at the same time, you know what needs to be done with this.
Right.
And just the way, like I mentioned earlier, the way that they interacted with each other and just how they slowly started trusting each other and slowly started becoming somewhat, I mean, I don't know if call them friends, but like he was just really like giving him the game. And it was so funny that the guy that he had got into that fight with in that last safe house, it was so funny because that guy was like, yo, like you have been with Tobin Frost for like the last 2 days. He was like, you've had to learn some shit. You know what I'm saying? It's just like damn, like this dude is, you know what I mean? And it was interesting for that guy to say that because he did learn a lot from Tobin, you know, in like a day and a half.
But just not what they expected.
Yeah, not what they expected, and not for him to, you know what I'm saying? But see, the smart thing that he did was he turned the file in, but he did it anonymously. So he was still able to get the job done without that shit falling back on him. Right. So I thought it was dope how he was able to, you know what I'm saying, figure that out and do it that way. Because Tobin should have been doing it that way the whole fucking time.
Yeah, but I don't think Tobin Frost was gonna be able to do that, especially when they had him labeled as a rogue agent. Like, nah, like it's motherfuckers looking for you that you don't even know looking for you. You know what I'm saying? Like that's something that probably couldn't been done. I got a question for you though. Okay, so put yourself in Weston's position, right? You know what I'm saying? Think about just the job that you do now. And think about like the hardest thing it is to do at your job. Okay. Now imagine that, you know what I'm saying, you are like, you're not new, but you really don't do too much at the job. Like you might, you know what I'm saying, I don't know, file papers or something. And then one day they was just like, hey, we need you to go do that job that is the hardest thing to do at your job. But they putting you with the dude who does that job because they want you to see what he's doing because something he's doing ain't right and they trying to fire him. But it's not the fact that they trying to fire him. It's just the fact that they probably paying him too much or something like that and they want to get him out of here. But they telling you, listen, he's messing up. We need you to ride along with him and learn how to do this job so we can replace him because we can't keep doing this. He's costing us too much, blah, blah, blah. Then he, you know what I'm saying, you on the ride with him or whatever, you doing whatever the job is, and then he telling you, you know, the only reason they want you on this job is to get me out of here, right? It's really because, you know what I'm saying, they paying me a lot and they can't afford it. And you know what I'm saying, I asked for a raise or whatever. Do you think you could do that in a day or in 2 days to just ride with this guy and then learn that job like that? Because like for them to, and I'm putting it in that aspect so it could be relatable, but like to put Weston in a position knowing he hasn't been in the field, knowing that the only thing this dude basically been doing is just turn down service at safe houses. Like, what did you expect my man to really do? Like, why would, I mean, I get why, you know what I'm saying, like they did that, put that, you know what I'm saying, put Frost in that safe house and then had the mercenaries come because they're like, well, shit, Weston's there. He don't know nothing. He green. If anything happens, shit, he'll probably kill Tobin Frost on accident. Like, that's probably the way that they're thinking. So, like, just putting yourself in those shoes, like, how do you think you would have reacted to that? Because that's a crazy situation to go through. Like, you really on your way out. At the end of the day, he was on his way out. He was about to be on vacation or whatever he was about to do. He's about to get up out of there. And as soon as he had like a day or two left, next thing you know, bro, you got the most wanted quote unquote traitor in the CIA coming to where you are. And then all of this happens. That's some real stuff to go through.
I see what you're saying. But let me say this first, and then I answer that.
Mm-hmm.
I think what David was thinking the whole time was nobody's making it out of the situation
At all.
because when they sent him, and I think that's another reason why he sent him to Weston safe house, because like Weston's never been in the field. Like, I'm gonna let the one team go in there, let them do, because another thing, he didn't care about that team because that team was Catherine's team.
Mm-hmm.
Because he wanted to send his team, and she was like, well, my team could be there in 2 hours. His team would have been like 6 or something like that.
Yeah.
So he was like, I don't give a damn about these people. I'm going to send my one dude in, send the hit squad in. He's going to kill everybody in there, grab Tobin, have them get the foul off of Tobin, and then that would be what it is. Right. He didn't expect Weston to get out of that damn safe house.
Exactly.
So he sent him on a dummy mission, and he ended up underestimating Weston. But for me, and it's also funny you putting in the analogy the way that you put it, because this is the second time that I know off the top of my head that Denzel had to do this. He had to do this in Unstoppable. He had to train his replacement. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, yo, they getting me out of here because I'm old and they pay me too much and they just want to replace me with a young guy. So
and that was Chris Pine, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was Chris Pine.
Yeah.
And he ended up because they was gonna fire him with no pension, which is some bullshit. But that's a whole nother movie. But I mean, honestly, man, it's like I feel that is really like a fucked up situation to be in, because for number one, the mind state of the person, you don't know what their mind state is going to be, because 8 times out of 10 they're going to know, like, they got you with me because they're trying to get rid of me. Exactly. And it's like you don't know how this person is going to take this. Like, for number one, they could train you bad, and then now you do,
or not show you nothing at all.
Yeah, not show you nothing at all, train you bad, or they could just fucking flip out and just harm you. You know what I'm saying? Because they really feel this strongly about their job. So it's really a tough situation to be in when you're putting people with people and you have them train them, and they could be looking at it like, yo, this is my livelihood on the line. Yeah. Because what we don't know is we don't know what's going on in people's personal life. Like, we don't know if this person's wife lost her job, and so that's the only pay, you know what I'm saying, money that they got rolling in, and now you got me training this dude, and he's gonna end up replacing me. Now I'm gonna lose my job. I could lose my house. My wife lost her job. You know what I'm saying? My kids are this. Like, so I think that's a very tricky situation to put people in. Yeah. But I just feel that David knew without a shadow of a doubt that there was no way Weston was getting out of that damn safe house. Yeah. And Weston found a way, and he just threw a monkey wrench in his plan. Because really, throughout the whole movie, all this movie was all right, I have to find a way to get Weston and Tobin Frost up out of here without this shit coming back and falling on me.
Okay, wait. So this is the, because I know what you're saying, but this is what I truly think, right? Watching this or rewatching this is what I truly think. I don't think that he was trying to get Weston out of there. I do think, though, that if Weston had been collateral for the situation, it wouldn't have made a difference to him. But I think that the real thing is because he knew Weston was so new to everything, and basically he didn't have any real field experience, that whatever they would have came in and did, it wouldn't have been an issue with Weston, right? Because at the end of the day, if they go in, they kill Tobin, get the stuff, and they don't kill Weston, and he survives, it's like, yo, mercenaries came through, da, 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 and now David could just be like, yo, we don't know how this happened, we don't know where this happened, but you know what I'm saying, one of our guys was there. They could use him as a pawn in this whole thing, and that's really how I looked at it. It was just like David was just using him as a pawn because he's like, he don't know, you know what I'm saying, left from right in these situations. This dude is a paper pusher, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, he pretty much is a maid at all these safe houses. He's not doing anything for real. He hasn't really been out in the field. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, he never shot a gun before, so it ain't like he's been in some real warfare. It's like we can use this dude as a pawn. So if anything happens, you know what I'm saying, he might get, you know what I'm saying, bruised up a little bit, but we can use him to say, hey, you know what I'm saying, these guys attacked us, da, 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 and then we can create a whole story, or I could create a whole story behind this and say that it was somebody from, I think they was in South Africa. It was some guys from, it was some mercenaries from South Africa that found out about, you know what I'm saying, our situation and blah, blah, blah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so to me, it was like he was more so using them as a pawn, not so much as the really for him to be as expandable as he was, or as he thought he was, or as you're thinking he is. I think he was expandable, of course, because given the situation, like if he gets killed, he gets killed. But I don't think he was like that expendable to where it was like, yo, go in there, kill him, and then kill him too. I think it was like, if you end up killing him, that's cool. Try not to though, but him for sure, like get him and get out of there.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. Because even at the end, when he was telling him, like he was trying to tell him the story, like, okay, this and this happened, and such and such shot such and such, and like he's looking at him like, yeah, you've been, like you said, the perfect word, like you've been using me as a pawn the whole time. Like this didn't have anything to do with me. Like you wasn't really trying to. And then that's another thing. Like I wonder, was David really trying to get him like advanced in like the ranking? Like he was trying to advance his ranking, or he was just kind of like fucking with him, just like giving him that little bit of encouragement each time. Like, oh well, I mean, you know, like
if as new as he was to it, I mean, he probably was, because he was like, yo, this is somebody that I could mold, I could teach, I could kind of teach my ways to, blah blah blah, get him on my team. You know what I'm saying? And have him come in and with, you know what I'm saying, his brains and the stuff that he knows, like, yo, we can get him in, and ain't no telling what he could become and what he can do. So, like, to get somebody like that, that's a big plus in the CIA. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude's scores was probably through the roof and all that shit. Like, so to get him on the team is probably like a huge addition. And then not only that, like, he's fresh meat. So, like, they can kind of mold him into whatever they want him to be at that point. It's just the fact that, you know what I'm saying, you got this guy here, you got Tobin Frost here. It's like, yo, okay, perfect opportunity. Let's get him there. Now that we know he there, yo, you know what I'm saying, I got a guy there. We basically got an inside track. We can pretty much control this whole thing, get it over with, get it out. Like you said, he just didn't expect Weston to survive the situation in that way.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. Nah, like I tell you another part that got me before we get to the flames, but like when Tobin went, man, I forget where it was, but like he went to go see his friend Carlos or whatnot, and like he had saved him like some I don't know, some old cognac or some champagne or something.
Yeah.
And so you know they're talking. And then, you know, he asked him, you know, could you make me, like, I need a new passport, I need an ID, you know, all, you know, the works. And he was like, could you do that for me? I was like, yeah, I can do it. And he's like, are you sure? He was like, yeah, like I can do it. And it was just like because I got a question to go along with this. And I want to know, do you think that Weston didn't have a choice? Or he didn't think that. Okay, well, let me just finish it, right? So, them boys show up. Well, Weston was on his way, but the people beat him to him. And how the people beat Weston to that, because he signed into his information, and he found out that Tobin Frost had a friend that lived at the place where he saw that he was trying to turn earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how he was able to find them. Like, do you think that was a rookie move by signing into your login to where they traced it and then they was able to send those guys to Carlos's house
Yeah.
beforehand?
Yeah, for sure.
So,
I mean, because you got to think about it like I said, these guys probably know everything that you do, you know what I'm saying, forward and backward. If they know that he's going to look for Frost, right? They know he's going to look for Frost. Then he's logging in. Now they can track him. Okay, where's he? Hold on, wait a minute. What area is this? Yo, don't, such and such that was linked with Frost later. Yo, look him up, find out where he is, get somebody over there to like it's stuff like that can happen like just that fast. You know what I'm saying? So like the fact that he's going that way, it's like, well, we know that, and I'm just thinking in their eyes, like we know that he don't know nothing about Tobin Frost. We know that he wouldn't know shit about Carlos. You know what I'm saying? He just found out who Tobin Frost is. He really don't even know who Tobin Frost is for real. So the fact that he's going there, he's going the way to where Carlos would be. Tobin Frost might be there. The most that they could, they probably thinking the most we can do is at least interrogate Carlos to find out if he's talked to Tobin Frost or not. It just so happened that when they got there, Tobin Frost was there.
Yeah, that was crazy, man. They shot my dude's wife, man. They busted the door.
Wild.
Yeah, that was wild, man. But then, like, just to think that like people like live in those situations, dude, where it's like they just do like a whole bunch of shit together, man, and it's like, man, that's why I say, man, like people don't even realize, especially like my kids and shit, like them, they don't get how, especially now, they don't get how fortunate they are. It's like,
for sure. For sure.
It's like, boy, it can be super bad, my guy. Like, because man, he was jumping on roofs, and man, you step on the wrong part of the roof, man. People
fall through somebody's shit. Next thing you know, everybody up and they shoot through the house. Everybody dead. You the only one on the floor. You get up, everybody around you. Yeah, that stuff definitely happens, man.
Yeah, definitely for sure, man.
So let's get into the fire flames, man.
Yes, sir.
Yoga fire, yoga flame.
So, what are you giving Safe House?
Safe House. Number one, man. First things first. The cast was really good. I like the way it was put together. You had the guy, the GOAT, Denzel Washington. You had Ryan Reynolds. You had Vera Farmiga. You know what I'm saying? And a couple of other noticeable people. Honestly, for what this movie gives you, I'm gonna give it a 4.5. I'm not gonna go all the way to a 5, but I'm gonna give it a 4.5 off of the strength of number one. I mean, like, I don't think anything really is gonna be other than those little things. Or what is it? Any little things? I see. I can't even remember what the damn movie's even called because it's like it just didn't do it.
Yeah.
But mostly anything, and like you said, that Jay Esquire movie, yes. Other than that, though, like anything Denzel in it, I mean, it's at least gonna be a 4 above.
Yeah.
But the only reason I'm knocking it a little bit is because it's like, yo, we get all of these plot stories, all of the stuff about how bad the fucking CIA is, and it's just like, it just keep what they're doing is they're corrupting our mind. Like, we know they corrupt, but it's like, why y'all keep showing me all this shit? Because it's like now it's like
sight, man.
Yeah, it's like, man, I don't know if I want to keep knowing about how dirty these motherfuckers is, man. And like what they doing, they tapping our phones.
Yeah.
Yo, I saw. I haven't tried it though because I feel like I don't know, but I feel funny about it. There's a thing going on social media where I think. Hold on, let me look at my phone. I ain't gonna push it though. I ain't gonna push it. But I think it was. Man, it was like Star Pound 4-2 or some shit like that, and it shows where the police or something or the government been tapping your phone. Like it shows you all like every time, like dates and times and how long they
Oh
tapped your
man.
phone.
Oh
And
man.
I saw it on a reel.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yo, that's crazy. I didn't try it though, because I was like, I don't know if I
Yeah,
want.
because that
First of
shit
all, I
might
don't
be
even know if I want to know. But then I don't
that
know.
might be a trick.
Yeah, that might activate it or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I say that to say, like, we get in these movies. You know what? It's kind of like, you're gonna think this is a crazy comparison. It's kind of like slavery movies.
No,
And
I'm
this
with
is what
you.
I mean by
I'm
that.
with you. I know
Because
exactly what you mean.
it's like they keep giving us like these ideas of what the government could be doing, and it's like,
Mm-hmm.
yo, like, are these motherfuckers really doing this shit? Like,
I know. I listen. I'm with you 100% because every time I think of a slave movie, it's like I think they try to tell us like, "Hey, be lucky because you could be going through this still." Yo, come on, fam, don't do us like that. We're not with that. That's not gonna happen now. So no, I'm
yeah,
with you. I'm with you 1,000% for sure. My thing is though, like I don't think that they necessarily need to do that, bro, because like they got all kind of like weapons and shit we don't know nothing about. Like I seen I seen a YouTube documentary where they were talking about like some of the weapons that the government got that they can't use. Like it's really like illegal to use, and like not just illegal far as our law, like world law. Like you can't use this shit nowhere. Like they got shit that they said like, say if you got hostages in the house,
mm-hmm.
and like say you in a room or whatever, they'll try to get you to go into a room by yourself so they can use this. It's like I don't know if it's a gun or a laser or whatever it is, but they try to use that to basically get you solo so they can aim it at you and basically dehydrate you. I said if it's some shit like there, if they have that, I don't care how many guns you got. That's not gonna work against nothing that they got then. Because they got a gun that can dehydrate you, bro. It's over with.
Man,
That's
you gonna be
crazy.
on the you gonna be on the floor shaking and all types of
Man, I'm
shit.
trying
Like,
to tell you, bro. They don't even. It's crazy. But for me, I'm going 4. The cast is great. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, Denzel. I mean, you can't beat it. Ryan Reynolds, you can't beat it. My only beef um is that you give us like this great story, but you don't let us really see the true development of Ryan Reynolds. Like we see the growth through the movie, but we don't really see like his true development. Because it would have been awesome to see him actually, you know what I'm saying, like really picking up stuff that Tobin Frost was doing.
mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like actually fighting and everything. Like, because at the end of it, when the big action scene happened, I mean, you know what I'm saying? He was getting whooped on the whole thing. And, you know what I mean? He still, like, killed a few people, but it wasn't like especially with the Ryan Reynolds we seeing now, like, he Deadpool, he slicing bullets with swords and everything. You know what I'm saying? He was Deadpool in the Wolverine movie. Like, when he did Blade Trinity, you know what I'm saying? He could fight. I'm like, yo, let's see some of those moves now, you know what I'm saying? Like, later on down the line, like, let's see what he can do now that he's, you know what I'm saying, he's been in that, he's done that before, he kind of has that experience. I would have liked to see him in an actual fight scene, like not getting beat up, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I would have liked to seen a little bit more progression out of the Western character. So, and I would have also liked to see Frost survive the situation, not die, because I thought that was kind of stupid. But outside of that, man, this movie was great. I enjoyed it. It's not like a game changer or anything like that, but it is definitely one of those good movies. You know what I'm saying? If you just want to sit down and watch something that'll keep your interest, this is definitely one of them. So I'm going 4.
Cool. Not mad at that.
All right, man. So let's get into the coming soon.
Coming soon to own on video and DVD.
All right, so this movie is going to be fun because I got like hella questions to ask you with this movie. But hey, listen, I'm dead serious, bro, because like the situation that this is, like the situation that this movie presents is a very interesting one. You know what I'm saying? The movie that we'll be doing on the next episode is Hollow Man, starring Kevin Bacon. And it's a very interesting movie only because you got a dude that's as smart as he is, that basically achieved what he was actually trying to achieve. And then the situation he was in, it was like, I'm not gonna lie, I think he went the wrong route. Like, okay, you can do all of this, like everything that you're doing, but dude, you invisible. Like, this is your time to go get rich. This ain't the time to, you know what I'm saying, be a pervert. This time to go get rich.
Yeah. But even with being a pervert, like, come on. I'm glad they put that in there because everybody's thinking it.
Oh no,
like,
for sure. Yeah.
Everybody's thinking it.
I mean, the one time he did it with the, you know what I'm saying, with the boob pop, that was cool. All right, whatever. After that, let it go, man. You ain't got to go kill people and all that other shit. It's time to get out and go get rich. First and foremost, if they had, like, if you was able to do that during the YouTube era, oh my God, you know how fire that'd be? The prank videos with that alone, that shit is going after you getting. I mean, the YouTube check is astronomical at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a great concept to remake now. Like in a comedy version of it, not the one we about to do, but like a comedy version of that would be hilarious. But so we gonna do Hollow Man. Hollow Man. It's gonna be amazing. I can't wait to do this one because this one is going to be first off, it's a great watch. But you know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's gonna be some stuff that comes up where I got some questions.
Yeah, that's funny though. Dude, yeah, it's this one. It's gonna be interesting to do. I mean, especially like from the science part.
Yeah,
but they had to put it in there because I think that sometimes you have to be realistic, and it's like everybody's thinking it. It's like, yo, like I mean, okay, we'll get to it.
For sure, man. So next episode, that's what we're gonna be doing. So you guys make sure you stay tuned. You make sure, you know what I'm saying, you get in there. If you guys like this episode, if you didn't like this episode, if you got a suggestion or if it's something that you want us to watch or if it's a show you want us to watch or possibly get in on, let us know. You can do that by hitting us up on our socials at Instagram and Twitter at ViewAnonPod. You can also catch us on Facebook at VA Pod Watch Group. Join those, subscribe to those, follow those, do all that stuff. Let us know, hit us up, like, share, all that good stuff. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast as well. And if you are trying to contact me or follow me or see what I'm up to, you can catch me on Twitter at Scoots Bronson. I got a link tree in the bio. You can catch me everywhere else there.
Yep, y'all can find me at S.Foster8 on Instagram and Twitter at 28 Minutes or Less Pod. That's only on IG. Follow the podcast on all major platforms. Dropped episode 99, people. Episode 99 is out there in the world. You know what I'm saying? I did I entitled it Foxcatcher, the Prince of Pennsylvania, which I kind of comboed the movie Foxcatcher with Steve Carell and Mark Ruffalo, and also the 30 for 30 documentary that was on John DuPont. So go check that out on all major platforms. That's all I got, man.
That's what's up. Yo, did you ever find out if they was like the DuPont, like from the DuPont family? Yeah. That's why I went into that on the pod, man. Like it's the same DuPont family that, you know what I'm saying? That like they own the DuPont registry and all that.
Man, they got a lot of shit. Like they own a whole bunch of chemical places.
Bread, bro.
Like they been had bread. Like
do you know what the DuPont registry is?
Not that. No,
it's a magazine. It's a magazine, like it's a luxury magazine. So you know how like they got like Better Homes and Gardens and all that shit?
Yeah.
So like it's basically like Better Homes and Gardens for like exotic cars and like yachts and mansions and shit.
Like, dude, the DuPont family, these motherfuckers, like they got they early money, my guy, from gunpowder and shit.
Bootlegging too.
Yeah,
that's how they got like, DuPont Racing.
Dude, they listen. They got bread.
Yeah,
like they created like Teflon and shit. Like they got involved in chemicals. They got involved in like with GM. You know what I'm saying, with cars and shit. Like They got like, dude, they like John DuPont lived on 1,000-acre farm, my guy.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yo,
know what I'm
like
saying?
if you ever get a chance, like find a DuPont registry. Like you can look it up online and stuff like that. But like go to DuPont registry and just look at like the shit that they be having in there. Like they had a 2-story yacht one time in there. And when you know how like usually with boats you gotta walk down to go to the cabin?
Yeah.
Like ain't no walking down, you walked up to go in there. You got to the inside the cabin through the upstairs. The downstairs is just like it was like a bedroom. It's like a kitchen. It's a bathroom in there. It was a hot tub in there. I don't know why you have a hot tub on the inside of a pool. I mean, of a yacht, but I mean, like that's baller. And then like the shower was super cool. Like they had the shower, the water was falling from the top. Like this was like one of the dopest yachts I've ever seen in my life. This is where I found out like what all the new Lamborghinis and McLarens and all that stuff is. They all in the DuPont registry, and they show you like mansions and all that kind of stuff. Bro, this is the most amazing stuff I've seen in my life.
Man, because I mean, even the whole story with John DuPont, like this motherfucker, he funded the whole wrestling team.
Mm-hmm.
He gave the wrestling federation, whatever they call themselves. The reason he was even able to get all the wrestlers to come to his place because he was like, "Yo, I give y'all $500,000."
Yeah.
So not only
ain't this the one? Because you did the 30 for 30 on this before, right?
no,
You did
all
the movie.
Docked Up did.
All Docked Up did. That's right.
That's why.
This
That's
is
why
this
I
is the
pushed it
one where
back.
they was. Yeah, this is the one where he was like killing or some people died or
Well, he
something.
killed.
Like that.
Yeah, he killed David Schultz. He killed
Okay.
David Schultz. And yeah, that's what this whole thing was about.
That's
And
crazy.
but yeah, he gave them $500,000. Then he spent 6 figures on building a whole nother. He already had a training facility, built a
Yeah.
whole nother one. Then he was paying. He gave dudes salaries. I think he had at least 12 to 15 wrestlers at a time living there rent free, no utility bills, and this motherfucker setting up $250,000 trust for these guys. Like they got bread. Like I'm talking about.
Yeah,
They had
No, I know a lot about the DuPont family. I didn't know this. I didn't know he was related to them though. But now that you said that, I'm sure like dude got it.
yeah. Well, he ain't got it no more, but
Well,
but
yeah,
he dead now.
but
He
at the
died. He
time,
died
yeah.
in prison. But
At the time he had it.
Oh yeah, he had it. He definitely had
Yeah.
it. That's
But no,
why he
like,
was real.
and it's so surprising even to find out like he went to prison because like they family could like buy the prison and let him out.
But this is the wild part. The crazy part about the story is the fact that they found him mentally ill, but not insane,
Oh,
and he
okay.
still got 30.
That well, I mean, that makes sense.
You know what I'm saying? So, but like you said, for them to have the money that they had, but I mean, they had them in cold blood. I mean, like there was no way DuPont was getting out of this.
Listen, if you paying these dudes to stay on your property, you setting up a salary, you building a extra facility, then you setting up trust for somebody, you are definitely mentally ill. Like,
But
what are we talking about?
that's why I say, man, y'all gotta listen to the pod, man. Because
Them niggas are they might be the richest wrestlers ever.
Those real wrestlers, yes. Because
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, because I mentioned because I had to let the audience know, like we're not talking about WWE.
No, we talking about WWE. We talking about like Olympic wrestling. We talking about like they might be the richest wrestlers ever to ever wrestle.
Yeah,
They don't because the Olympic wrestlers don't make nothing.
Man, hey, listen to the pod.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to listen to this, bro. And shout out to All Docked Up, man, because when they did that, bro, I was like, yo, I didn't know nothing about none of this. I thought the movie was just about regular wrestling. I didn't know that niggas was getting killed and shit in the movie.
Dude, man, Penrose, he reached out to me and he was like, yo, he was like, because I had said that how I pushed it back because y'all had did it or whatnot. And he was like, man, I remember. He's like, you know what? I remember that. He was like, you were the one that knew about it before we did. And he was like, and you were hyping it up when you was telling us that you was about to do it. I was like, oh yeah, I was like, I've been on this. Like, like that Foxcatcher was a really good movie.
Yep. Shout out to VJ, shout out to Penrose, and shout out to Chris, man. Y'all go check out All Docked Up Dope Pod, man. They do strictly documentaries, but they only do the good ones, and man, they do the good ones. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. We will see you on the next episode, but until then, like they say in Hollywood, man, that is a wrap.
Cut.